Have you ever reached the end of a workday feeling completely exhausted, yet with the terrible sensation that you didn't do anything important? You look back, and your day was a patchwork of tasks, emails, messages, a quick glance at the news. You were busy running around all day, but your main goal, your key project, is still in the exact same place. If this sounds familiar, know that you're not alone. And the prime suspect for this crime against your productivity lives in your pocket. But here's the part nobody tells you, and it's the key to everything. The real thief of your focus isn't the notifications, the social media feeds, or the group chats. Those are just the noisy accomplices. The real criminal is silent, invisible, and far more dangerous because it disguises itself as productivity. It's a subtle addiction that makes you feel good, that gives you the illusion of being in control, all while stealing your ability to think, create, and do what truly matters. In this video, we're going to unmask this thief. Forget the trivial tips like turn off your phone. We're going much deeper. You will understand the neuroscience behind this trap and why your brain has become addicted to useless tasks that feel like real work. And most importantly, you will leave here with a practical escape plan, a step-by-step guide to retrain your mind, take back control of your time, and finally achieve a level of deep focus and real productivity you may not even remember exists. It's curious to observe how so many brilliant minds fall into the trap of being busy. They genuinely believe that constant motion equals progress. A mentor like Cal Newport has noticed that modern society glorifies being overworked, confusing it with real productivity. He sees people answering emails in seconds, organizing folders with surgical precision, but the truth is that what's essential gets left behind. They are just spinning their wheels without going anywhere. He admits to having fallen into this trap himself countless times. He would spend hours on end optimizing his desktop, creating complex folder systems, and clearing his inbox to zero. The feeling was one of absolute control, an immediate dose of satisfaction that the brain loves. At the end of the day, exhausted, he'd look at the screen with a false sense of pride. But the project that would actually be a game changer, the one that required deep focus, remained untouched, exactly where he left it that morning. Newport uses an analogy that simplifies everything. Imagine a builder who spends all day sharpening his saw and cleaning his brushes. He organizes his nails by size and even polishes the handle of his hammer. What an exemplary worker, right? His workbench looks impeccable, a true masterpiece. However, the wall he was hired to build is still just a pile of bricks on the ground. This is the dangerous habit of false productivity. This trap is so seductive because it gives us the feeling of accomplishment without the actual accomplishment. Cleaning, organizing, responding, these are tasks with a quick beginning, middle, and end, which feed our brain with easy rewards. The real work, the real productivity that yields results, is time-consuming and uncomfortable. And to escape this discomfort, our mind has developed an even more subtle trick, a little lie we whisper to ourselves at every moment. And here's that little lie. I'll just take a quick look. It won't even take a minute. This seemingly harmless phrase is perhaps the most destructive one for real productivity. The mentor observes that people treat their attention like a light switch, believing it can be turned on and off without any cost. They brutally underestimate the price of interruption, the toll our brain pays every time we engage in this digital distraction, no matter how brief the detour. What most people don't understand is the concept of context-switching cost. Your brain is not a supercomputer that opens and closes browser tabs instantly. When you are deep in deep focus, you are loading an extremely delicate architecture of thoughts. A simple glance at your phone isn't just a detour. It's a forced reset. You throw away all the mental context that took precious minutes, sometimes dozens of minutes, to build. The puzzle analogy is perfect. Imagine you're assembling a 5,000-piece puzzle. You're focused, holding a small blue piece, trying to remember where you saw that specific shade of sky. Suddenly, someone asks you to solve a math problem. You stop, answer, and feel smart. But when you return to the puzzle, the mental image of that shade of sky is gone. You look at the piece in your hand and have no idea where it fits anymore. You've lost your train of thought. That quick look is exactly that math problem. A micro task that feels productive, but brutally shatters your line of reasoning. The real issue is that this has become a compulsive and addictive habit. The question that remains, and the one Newport forces us to face, is not just the cost of this interruption, but why our brain has become so desperate for it. Why does it crave these crickets to hunt, even when it knows the real hare is right there? The answer to this craving for interruption lies in the chemistry of our own brain. It's a survival machine that evolved with a simple directive: solve problems to receive a reward. In the past, the problem was finding food, and the reward was satiety. Today, this primitive wiring remains intact, but digital distraction exploits it relentlessly, offering an infinite banquet of irrelevant problems to be solved at every moment. Every notification you check, every email you open, is a mini problem your brain solves. And in return, it gets a small hit of dopamine, the pleasure neurotransmitter. Newport explains this is like feeding an elite athlete nothing but low-quality snacks. They feel satisfied for a moment, but are never truly nourished for the main competition. Real productivity is the full, nutritious banquet. The micro-resolutions on your phone are just the crumbs that keep you hungry. The hunting dog analogy illustrates this perfectly. Think of your brain as a highly trained hunting dog. Your main task of the day, that report, that dense study, is the hare it was born to hunt. It's a long chase that requires patience and deep focus. However, the field is infested with crickets. Every quick look at your phone is a cricket, and the dog, with its instinct to capture anything that moves, simply cannot resist. And so, it starts jumping from cricket to cricket, feeling like a formidable hunter. After all, it caught dozens of them. But the hare, the prize that truly matters, is already miles away on the horizon. We are turning our minds into cricket hunters. The good news, and the central point of Newport's work, is that this habit is not a life sentence. If we trained our brains for distraction, it means we can also reprogram them. Reprogramming your brain doesn't require superhuman willpower, but rather a smart strategy to create an environment where deep focus can flourish. The first step, advocated by Newport, is to create sanctuaries of silence, the 30-minute rule. The first and last half hour of your day are sacred zones, free from micro-resolutions. Allow your mind to wake up and wind down without the chaotic bombardment of digital distraction. The second step is to create a resolution center. Throughout the day, when the urge to just check attacks, resist it. Instead, write down the task on a notepad beside you. Check the package, check that stock price, reply to so-and-so. Set 1 or 2 specific times a day to handle everything at once. You will be amazed to find that by the time you get to them, most of those emergencies have lost all their importance. The third tactic is the simplest and perhaps the most powerful: the physical barrier. When it's time to pursue real productivity, leave your phone in another room. The beauty of this technique is using one weakness, laziness, to combat another, addiction. The energy required to get up and fetch the device will often be greater than the initial impulse. It's a brilliantly designed habit to protect your attention. Ultimately, these are not rules to limit you, but tools to liberate you. It's about being the master of your hunting dog, not the other way around. About teaching it to ignore the crickets and focus on the hare that will bring the real reward. The journey to retake control of your mind is not a sprint, but the beginning of a much more intentional and rewarding way of living. Now, you know. You understand the difference between arranging the tools and actually building the wall. You can clearly see the image of your brain, that elite hunting dog, wasting time on crickets while the real hare escapes. The knowledge is yours, but knowledge alone changes nothing. The question that really matters is, what are you going to do with it tomorrow? How much longer will you allow a device in your pocket to dictate the pace and quality of your life? What is the real cost of those quick looks on your career, your studies, your most ambitious dreams? Think about it for a second. What book would you have already written? What skill would you have already mastered? What business would you have already started if you recovered the hours this silent thief steals from you every week? Change only happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of trying something new. This journey to retake control of your mind is the most important work of our generation. If this type of deep conversation, which goes beyond superficial tips, is what you're looking for to truly transform your results, then your place is here with us. Subscribe to the channel, because what we discussed today is just the warm-up. And of course, turn on notifications, because with every video, we will bring new weapons to this battle for deep focus. The decision to stop hunting crickets and start building your legacy is yours, and it begins now. Pick one of the steps you learned today, just one, and start. Then come back here and comment which one you chose. Let's do this together.